Yeah, so we've talked about what human rights are all about, and what is linked to where you now talk about the human rights, and some people talk about responsibilities as well. So where is the correlation?
Yeah. Firstly, I also want to appreciate the way looking when it comes to that in terms of the correlation as you have mentioned. Now remember when we talk of rights, then there's responsibilities. Now, as rights and responsibilities are correlated,
Yeah.
now someone somewhere must be responsible. Either we talk of the person who's accessing services, or we talk of the person who's rendering service.
Yeah.
Both of them they've got a role to play.
Yeah.
Now I come to the person who's got the rights, but what is my responsibility in terms of accessing the services? And that particular person who I'm accessing those services from or to, they need to also ensure that they play their role as well, as a responsibility to provide that service.
So it doesn't come just as rights and then that way.
Doesn't.
There has to be the rights and there has to be the responsibilities as well. And the two have to go along with each other.
Actually, there's a thin line actually on that. Now we're talking of the role of the government. I'm doing it purposely. There's a role of the government and also the society as well. Also, the society has a role to play. When they're accessing the services, why would we ban that particular facility?
Yeah.
Why would we ban our streets? Why would we ban our police station? Because that's where those services should be rendered. Are those buildings the problem or the barrier that makes us not to get those services? Or the people within the buildings are the ones? So now you look at the part of the rights. The community has the right to receive services. But then who's providing the services? It's not the buildings. It's the people within the building that needs to provide the responsibility of that particular service.
Yeah.
So now, when we are not capacitated enough, then that's where we get into the level where we ban streets, where we ban our roads, we ban our facilities and all of that. And down the line, there's someone in very need of the very same service. So it's very important to understand our role and also government's role to say, when we talk of rights, we do have the rights, but our responsibilities, we need to also protect those buildings, because our children, it's not only us, our children, someone is born already, need those services, and the government as well. If those employees are not providing those services, we need to change them and put those who will provide the services. So in terms of,
we burn the ambulance today, and tomorrow my mother is very ill, and the ambulance can't come because
it was banned
yesterday.
So now it means I need to also go in toy for an ambulance. You see, also
the one that is not there that I've destroyed.
And the issue is not with the ambulance; it's the systems that are there that are not providing us with the service that we're looking for, which is very critical. We do understand, but when we ban it, it's not just us banning it, but we're also banning other people's life because they're in need of the very same. So that's where now we'll come and demand to say more ambulances. Why can't we change the systems? Why can't we change this? Why can't we change this so that it gives us the services that we're looking for? So the responsibility part is not intended to say the society. There is a role. Remember way back, it used to say it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, it has changed. And you look at the things that are happening, you wonder,
it's no longer
where is the village? Where is the village for that particular child that is growing within? Now we're talking of services. The government is providing whatever right the government is providing, but it's not enough for us. We cannot talk about a facility that was built in 1999 and expecting that now in 2004 or in 2014 or in 2024, the very same facility must provide the same quantity of people or population. It has grown. So those are the things that we need to look into exactly, so that when we talk of rights, are we also doing the right thing to ensure that we cover all these gaps that are there?
Responsibility as well, because I'm just thinking, how do we ensure that while we sensitize people about the rights, we don't leave the responsibilities behind? because the fact that some of these things are destroyed, it immediately shows that the responsibility part is not understood. But also, it's more that even though it's called the community health center, for example, the community doesn't recognize it as belonging to them. Because if you surely you can't burn something that belongs to you. So it goes back to where we now need to say what is it that we need to do when we go back to the drawing board to say that we leave no one.
Indeed, that's why the research plan says let the community lead and community mentors. It's because of those reasons. Because we have taken the responsibility part and gave it to someone we don't know. And now that person that we don't know is not giving the justice that we're looking for. So we need to take it in our hands to ensure that we don't ban it, but then we ensure that that service that we're looking for, we can get it through the responsibility part of things within the human rights context.